Good morning, beloved. Today we're going to pray before work. Not just with words, but with your entire being. You're not waking up to just another Monday, not simply a list of tasks or expectations. You are waking up into presence, into invitation, into the quiet mercy of the living God who was already waiting for you before your eyes opened. So before we begin, take a second to like and subscribe, but only if something inside you wants more of God. And then comment where you're from and how long it's been since your last real prayer. Ready? Breathe deep. Clear the noise. Christ is near. Let's begin. The first thing to know this morning is this: God is already here. Before you reach for your phone, before the news scrolls, before coffee, before noise, He has drawn near. This is not about your faithfulness, it's about His. He is closer than the air, whispering into your soul even now. Can you feel it? That quiet tug. It's not just motivation or routine, it's the movement of heaven bending low to touch earth. Your heart is His cathedral. That's not poetry, that's reality. So then, why do you so often rise as if abandoned? Why do you wake already weary, already burdened by the day before it even begins? Could it be that you have forgotten the gift of being seen? You were not made to run the race alone. You were made for communion. That's the unshakable truth. You were created to walk every moment with God. He is not a distant idea or a theological footnote. He is the living one, speaking your name in the silence. Yes, your name. When was the last time you woke with awe instead of anxiety? When was the last time you greeted the dawn with worship, not worry? There is a way back to that. It doesn't require perfection, just permission. Let Him in. This morning, before anything else, simply say in your heart, Jesus, I want you in this day. That alone can rewire everything. This is your moment. This very breath is sacred. The world is not waiting. The Lord is. So here is your movement. Get out of bed, kneel, even for just 10 seconds. Let the posture preach louder than your mouth ever could. In silence, in surrender. Let your knees say what your mind still wrestles to believe. You are Lord, and I am yours. The dawn is holy, not because it is quiet, but because He is in it. This is not the beginning of a workday. It's the beginning of worship. Rise, beloved. He is calling. You rise now, but not to rush, not yet. The world will clamor soon enough, but now you pause. Not to escape the day ahead, but to anchor yourself in truth. And here is that truth. You are not your work. You are not your calendar, not your to-do list, not the number of messages in your inbox or the salary printed on your contract. You are not what others expect of you, and you are not what you failed to become. You are a child of God. That is not symbolic, it is eternal. So why do you so often forget it the moment you begin to perform? Why does your identity feel so fragile, like it depends on the outcome of a meeting or the affirmation of a boss? Why does your mood collapse under one email or shift with one unfair comment? Could it be that the foundation of your identity has been built on sand, on striving, not surrender? You were not made to earn love. You were made to live from it. In Christ, you begin already loved. You don't climb your way into His affection, you start there. No work you do today will increase His favor, no failure will subtract His gaze. That doesn't make your efforts meaningless, it makes them free. When you know you are already seen, already chosen, you can work without fear. You can move through this day without the need to prove. So ask yourself now, why do I do what I do? Do you work because you love Him, or because you're afraid not to be noticed? Have you forgotten that even the hidden moments, Tidying the kitchen, fixing the report, walking to the bus can become acts of worship when offered from a heart that knows its true worth. Here is your movement. Today, before the first task, whisper this prayer. Let me work with you, not just for you. The difference is everything. When you work with Him, there is peace. When you work for Him without Him, there is pride or despair. Invite Him into your tasks, into your hands, your eyes, your voice. You do not carry the weight of proving yourself today. That yoke was shattered at the cross. You are more than a worker, more than an employee, more than a cog in a machine. You are a tabernacle of the living God, walking into an office, a shop, a classroom, a field, carrying eternity inside. So go forward, not as one who must succeed to be loved, but as one who is already held and whose every task can become a holy offering when rooted in identity, not in security.
Stillness becomes clarity, and in the clarity, something stirs. An ache, a realization your heart has drifted. You've kept moving, kept doing, kept showing up, but underneath it all, you feel it. The distance, the numbness, the subtle forgetting of why you began. Your prayers have been rushed or absent, your soul tired, your love dim. But listen, this is not condemnation, it's invitation. You are being called back. You were never meant to live disconnected, not from God, not from your own soul. The unshakable truth is this: your heart was made to burn with love, not flicker, not cool off with routine, not survive on scraps. Burn. But what puts out the fire? Busyness, yes. Distraction, of course, but most of all, indifference. That quiet settling for less, that subtle bargain you've made to get by spiritually, while your heart shrinks quietly behind your performance. So here is the question. When did you last pray with your whole heart? Not just say words, not just list needs, but truly pray, where something in you broke open and you let Him in fully. It's been too long, hasn't it? But it doesn't take long to return. In fact, all it takes is now. Because the path back to God is never long. It is only one step, the one you take right now. Return, not by effort, but by honesty. Bring Him the real you, the distracted you, the ashamed you, the you who has been faking it. He is not offended. He is moved. He does not want your polished prayers. He wants your presence, even in your mess, especially in your mess. Here is your movement. Today, take 5 minutes. No requests, no lists. Just sit before Him and say, "Here I am." Say it again and again until the silence starts to listen. That is the beginning of real prayer. Not the right words, but the right posture. Vulnerable, available, present. Your heart can come alive again. You are not too far, you are not too cold. There is fire waiting. But not the fire you must build, the fire He will breathe if you just open the door. Return to prayer not as a task, but as a homecoming. Your heart was made for communion. You will never be whole until you live from that place again. So come, now, don't wait. The time to return is not when you feel ready. It is when you feel this. That ache. That ache is his knock.
You're walking into a battlefield, not just a workplace, not just a schedule, a battlefield. This day will test you, and unless you see clearly, unless you prepare spiritually, you'll walk in disarmed, unaware, vulnerable to every fiery dart aimed at your peace, your focus, your hope. This is not superstition, it's reality. We are at war, not against flesh and blood, but against powers, distractions, voices, and lies that seek to pull you away from God, to wear you down, to keep you numb. And yet, you are not left exposed. Heaven has already offered you weapons, real ones, not just metaphors. The armor of God is not a poetic concept. It is protection, but you have to put it on. Grace is free, but it must be received. God never forces his defense on the unwilling. So today, you must choose, not just to work, not just to survive, but to fight, to stand firm. There will be attacks today, subtle ones, a glance that triggers insecurity, a task that evokes comparison, an invitation to gossip, a sense of futility. These are not random. These are darts. They are designed to make you forget who you are and whose you are. They aim not just at your actions, but at your soul, to twist your desires, fog your vision, wear out your will. You feel it already, don't you? But you are not a victim. You are equipped. You have truth like a belt, righteousness like armor, peace as your shoes, faith as your shield, and the word alive as your sword. But again, they must be put on. They do not cling to you by habit. They come through prayer, through decision, through surrender. Ask yourself now, have I armored my spirit today? Or am I planning to walk into war in a business suit and a to-do list? You wouldn't leave your house naked. Don't leave your soul exposed. Here is your movement. Before the next thing you do, whisper each piece of the armor, slowly, intentionally. Lord, fasten truth around me. Guard my heart with righteousness. Let peace be the ground beneath my feet. I take up faith. I claim salvation. I carry your word. These are not magic words. They are spiritual alignment. They awaken you to what is already available. Because yes, the evil one hates your morning prayer. He hates your silence. He hates your growing awareness. But he is also afraid of the one who kneels first, who listens before speaking, who arms their soul before lifting their hands. That person becomes unshakable, not because they are strong, but because they are covered. You don't have to fight every battle alone. In fact, you were never meant to. You fight with Christ, the one who has already conquered. So don't panic when the trial comes. Don't retreat when the temptation whispers. Just stand, because he fights in you. And he never loses. And hear this unshakable truth. Spiritual warfare is real, but so is victory. If you feel attacked, don't assume God is absent. Sometimes the storm intensifies because he is near and hell is afraid of what you're about to become. Don't back down. Stand, resist, praise, breathe, and walk forward clothed in armor the world cannot see, but hell cannot defeat. Today is not just about productivity. It's about perseverance. Your soul matters more than your schedule. Armor yourself and walk forward, confident, covered, unafraid. You're going to work, but you don't have to go like the world does. Not frantic, not proving, not desperate to be seen or terrified to fall behind. Because what you build today can either be a sacrifice or slavery. And the difference? It's not the task, it's the offering. It's not about the title or even the outcome. It's about who you do it for. Every little act today, writing emails, cleaning dishes, meeting with clients, solving problems, can be done in union with Christ, or it can be done for approval, for control, for money, for self. That is the dividing line. And the world won't know the difference, but heaven will, and your heart will. You are not just a worker, you are a priest. You can offer your labor like incense. You can lift your hands not only in worship at church, but while typing, cooking, fixing, leading. God isn't waiting for Sunday. He is in the spreadsheet, in the commute, in the hallway conversation. But you must see Him there. Invite Him in. Dedicate the work not just to your paycheck, but to His glory. The truth is, you will work for someone today, whether you admit it or not. If not God, then pride. If not God, then fear or comparison or control. You become a servant of whatever voice drives you. But you were not made for bondage. You were made for communion. And when your work becomes prayer, it becomes free, holy, whole. Ask yourself now, why am I doing this? Is it just to get through? Just to survive? Or is it to become more like Him in the doing? Is your work draining your soul or transforming it? You don't need a new job to have a new mission. You just need a new offering, a deeper yes, a purer intention. And here is your movement. Before you begin your task list today, take one sheet of paper, write at the top, "To Jesus," then list your tasks underneath. Offer the whole page. Say, "Let this be yours." Because when the ordinary is surrendered, it becomes sacred. You don't need applause for it to matter. Heaven sees. God watches the hidden. He blesses the quiet yes, the quiet endurance, the faithfulness no one else notices. Even the moments of frustration, those too can be part of the offering. Offer your patience. Offer your discomfort. Offer the waiting. Offer the interruptions. Let the thorns become prayers. Let the delay become a place of trust. You are never wasting time if you're offering it to Him. And here's the unshakable truth. Work is holy when it is united with Christ. You don't have to choose between being a professional and being a disciple. You can do both if you walk with Him, if you remember that how you do something matters as much as what you do, because love changes everything. So today, don't just work, worship. Don't just complete tasks, consecrate them. Don't just perform, participate. Let God work through you. Let your excellence reflect His beauty. Let your humility mirror His heart. This is not about perfection. You'll forget sometimes. You'll rush. You'll get frustrated. But even then, pause. Begin again. He is still there, and He still receives the offering. This is how your work becomes light, not in the load, but in the meaning. You are not a machine. You are a minister. You are not building a resume. You are building a life that pleases God. So go, but go with Him. Let your whole day speak one silent prayer. This is for you, Lord.
There's something inside you that still believes you have to earn it. That if you don't perform, you won't be blessed. That if you don't meet the invisible standard, you'll be passed over, forgotten, unworthy. But the kingdom doesn't operate like the world, and the Father's heart doesn't wait for your perfection. He wants to give, not because you've earned, but because you're His. And today,
He wants to meet you not just in your tasks, but in your need. Grace is not a paycheck, it is a gift, and it is not reserved for saints and mystics. It is for you, for now, for this very ordinary day that feels like 100 others. You think He's only interested in your mountaintops or your deepest valleys. But no, God moves most tenderly in the in-between, in the routine, in the sigh, in the moment you glance at the clock and wonder if this is all there is. He sees you, that heaviness you carry in silence, that anxiety about finances, about your worth, about your future. He sees it, and He doesn't come with more demands. He comes with more presence. But to receive it, you must stop performing and start receiving. That's the posture that changes everything. You were made not just to work for God, but to work with God, and even more, to be loved by God as you work. There is no holiness in burnout. There is no reward for pretending you're fine when you're not. He knows when your heart is dry. He knows when you're going through the motions, and still He stays. Still He reaches. Still He speaks. Ask yourself now, have I let Him love me today? Not just use me, not just assign me, but actually love me. Have I let grace carry me instead of trying to carry everything myself? Here is your movement. Take one moment before your next task. Close your eyes and whisper, Jesus, I receive you here. Then sit. Don't rush. Let Him love you in your weakness, in your distraction, in your weariness. Do not underestimate the healing power of a minute of stillness in the presence of God. It changes atmospheres. It rewires the soul. And remember this unshakable truth. The Christian life is not first a task, it is a relationship. And relationships are not built on effort alone, but on intimacy. And intimacy begins with availability. You were not made to be a performer on the stage of Christianity. You were made to be a beloved son, a cherished daughter, walking with your Father. That's the heart of it. That's the center of your calling. Not doing for God, but being with God. Let your work flow from that place, not try to earn your way to it. So slow down. Let go of the inner critic that always says you're not doing enough. Silence the pressure. It's not from Him. His voice is gentler, firmer, clearer. And right now, it's saying this, let me in. You don't have to carry today alone. If you'll receive Him now, He will carry you through it all. And it won't feel like striving anymore. It will feel like peace.
You carry more than they know. The weight in your chest, the tension behind your eyes, the moments you smile while holding back tears. The world may not see it, but heaven does. And that hidden suffering you bear today, it matters. In the eyes of the world, it's invisible. In the heart of God, it's sacred. Because suffering in silence does not mean you're alone. The cross was also carried quietly. And every time you press forward without applause, every time you choose to forgive without being asked, every time you endure what is unfair, overlooked, or exhausting, you are walking in the footsteps of Christ. He sees. He remembers. He is not indifferent. You weren't promised a pain-free life, but you were promised that your pain could be transformed. You weren't promised understanding from others, but you were promised presence from Him. Nothing you suffer today is wasted if it is united to His sacrifice. That's the unshakable truth. That is the mystery of Christian life. Suffering becomes redemptive when offered. So ask yourself now,
What burden am I carrying that I've never surrendered? That constant fatigue? That ache for recognition? That financial pressure? That ache in your body or your heart? Have you offered it or only endured it? There is a difference. God doesn't ask you to enjoy your pain. He asks you to hand it to Him, to unite it with His own, so that what was meaningless becomes holy. Here is your movement. Today, choose one concrete frustration, just one, and offer it aloud. Say, Jesus, I unite this to your cross. Make it count in the kingdom. Even if your voice shakes, even if it feels small, do it anyway. You're not being dramatic, you're being honest, and heaven responds to that honesty with grace. And don't believe the lie that your suffering must be massive to matter. Holiness doesn't only come through tragedy, it comes through faithful endurance, through the quiet yes, through the 1,000 tiny crucifixions no one sees, when you serve without thanks, when you pray without results, when you keep going without recognition. You are not forgotten, not in the company of angels, not in the eyes of the one who wept and bled for you. He knows what it feels like to be tired, to be misunderstood, to be pressed from every side. He walks with you now. He stands beside your desk, your counter, your steering wheel, and He whispers, "Keep going. You are not alone. I see every hidden sacrifice." Let this truth take root in your spirit. What the world ignores, heaven records. What they dismiss as small, God calls eternal. Your daily crosses matter, not because they are big, but because they are yours, and you carry them with Him. That is the mystery of love, and it is not lost on Him. So lift your head, not in pride, but in peace. You are doing more than surviving. You are offering. You are doing more than enduring. You are participating in redemption. And in this, you are never closer to Christ than when you suffer with Him, quietly, faithfully, without bitterness. Keep carrying it, but don't carry it alone. Lay it beside His. Let your wounds touch His. Let your offering rise like incense, unseen by the world, but precious to God. The morning began with fire, a spark in your spirit, a stirring of grace. But now the hours move forward, and with them comes the noise, emails, meetings, calls, traffic, interruptions. The clarity you felt starts to blur. You begin to forget, not because you want to, but because the world is loud and your soul is easily pulled. And yet, you don't have to lose what God gave you. You can keep the flame. What began in stillness must be guarded with intention. The Holy Spirit doesn't leave. You just stop listening. But you can choose to remain. You can choose to protect the morning, to let it echo into the afternoon, to let the peace you received become an anchor that holds, not a breeze that passes. The unshakable truth is this: you can abide in Him even here, even now, even in this day. Abide doesn't mean withdraw. It means remain. It means staying with Christ while you move, while you work, while you respond. It means breathing differently, listening carefully, moving prayerfully through a world that wants you fast, anxious, and reactive. So ask yourself now, what robs my peace by 10 a.m.? Is it the way you check your phone, the rush of tasks, the moment you compare yourself to others? Identify the breach, not to feel guilt, but to reclaim it. You don't need more time to be holy. You need more awareness, more returning, more interruptions by grace. And here is your movement
Choose one sacred habit to protect the spark. A short noon pause, a silent prayer before every task, a 3-minute walk without your phone. Build small altars in your day where God can meet you again. Don't try to stay in the zone, just keep returning. That's the life of a disciple. Not perfect consistency, but constant return. This isn't about feeling spiritual every hour. It's about staying tethered to the vine even when you feel dry. It's about catching yourself before the drift becomes distance. It's about loving Him not just with your lips at dawn, but with your yes in the middle of deadlines and detours. Your soul is not a switch you flip on once and forget. It's a flame you tend, with pauses, with memory, with prayer. Every time you come back to Him, even for 10 seconds, you feed the fire. And those 10 seconds matter more than an hour of absent-minded effort. Let the world be loud, but let your inner sanctuary remain quiet. You can learn to carry peace like armor. You can walk through tension without it seeping in, not because you are strong, but because He is dwelling within you, and you've made space for Him to stay. Don't let the flame go out by neglect. Don't forget what it felt like this morning when He was near, when your heart was soft. He has not changed. The invitation remains. The only question is whether you will return to Him again and again and again. So guard the flame. Build habits around it. Protect it like your life depends on it, because your soul does. And in doing so, you will find that peace doesn't just visit you in the morning. It walks with you all day long.
The sun moves higher, and so do the demands. You're in motion now, solving, responding, thinking, moving. But pause for a moment. Look deeper. Beneath your schedule, your productivity, your goals, what is this day truly for? You are not just here to finish a shift. You are here because you've been sent. You are on mission. Not just pastors, not just missionaries. You, right here, right now. That truth should stop you in your tracks. You are God's ambassador in the place you work. Whether it's a classroom, a kitchen, a corner office, a job site, or a delivery route, it is your mission field. It is where Christ desires to walk through you. But we forget this. We reduce our labor to survival. We shrink our identity down to roles and tasks. We forget that the kingdom moves through people like you in places like this. The unshakable truth is this: your work is sacred when it's surrendered. God isn't waiting to use you when your life is perfect. He's ready now, through your kindness to a coworker, through your patience with a client, through your silence instead of gossip, through your refusal to cut corners, through your presence that reflects a different spirit. Ask yourself now, have I lived today as one who is sent, or just as one who is surviving? Have I looked around and asked, Lord, who needs you here? Or have I stayed trapped in my own bubble of pressure, stress, and distraction? You don't need a microphone or a title to be a witness. You just need a heart that listens, a mind that remembers, and a will that surrenders. That is mission. Not loud, not dramatic, but real, persistent, quietly powerful. Here is your movement. Before your next interaction, pray this silently. Lord, let me carry your presence into this room. That's it. That's the seed. That's the turning point.
From then on, you're not just an employee or a parent or a student. You're a vessel. And that changes everything. The enemy would love for you to stay busy and blind, to keep working without awareness, to keep rushing without meaning. But Christ is calling you to something more. Not just a task list, but a purpose. A life that glows in the dark. A presence that shifts atmospheres. A mission that starts with saying yes in the middle of your ordinary. And don't say you're too broken, too tired, too unqualified. He knows your limitations, and still He sends you. Because the power isn't in your strength, it's in your surrender. He fills the willing, not the perfect. So today, walk like you're sent, not because of pride, but because of calling. Look around. There are hearts aching within arm's reach of you. You may be the only face of Christ they see today. Let it be true. Let it be real. Let Him speak through your presence. You're not drifting through your day. You're on assignment. And where you go, the kingdom goes, not because of your greatness, but because of your obedience. And now the day begins to slow. The light shifts. Tasks wind down. Fatigue seeps in. But before you collapse into the noise of restlessness or the distraction of screens, listen. He is still here. The same God who met you at dawn is waiting to meet you now. Not just to bless your sleep, but to remind you, you are never alone. You never were. This is the rhythm you were made for, not to start with God and forget Him, but to begin and end in Him. And the unshakable truth is this: you were made to return to silence. Not emptiness, not boredom, but sacred stillness. That place where your soul exhales, where you give back the day you were given and let Him hold what you can't. Don't let this day end like every other. Don't numb out. Don't scroll past the ache. Come back. Come low. Bring your whole self. The mistakes, the frustrations, the conversations that didn't go right, the parts you're proud of, and the parts you're not. Bring them all. Lay them down. Ask yourself now, what have I not yet surrendered from this day? A word you regret? A tension still in your chest? A desire you're afraid to admit? Whatever it is, don't carry it into tomorrow. It was never yours to bear forever. You are not your failures. You are not your successes. You are His, and He is enough. Here is your movement. Tonight, before you sleep, sit in silence for 2 minutes. No phone, no music, no talking. Just you and God. Breathe slow. Let your last words be, "Thank you. I trust you. I'm yours." Let that silence speak louder than any prayer you have spoken, because in it, you're letting God be God, and you, beloved. This is not the end of a long day. It is the return. And Christ always receives you. He's not tired of you. He doesn't keep score. He just wants you near. That's all. That's always been all. You will wake again tomorrow. And when you do, He'll be there, already waiting, already ready, already whispering, "Come, walk with me again." Because He is faithful, and He never leaves. And if you let Him, He will shape your days into a sanctuary. And now, breathe. You have walked through the whole day with God, yes, even in the moments when you forgot. You began this morning in stillness, and somewhere between the rising and the returning, something within you shifted. Not everything went as planned. You stumbled, you grew tired, you were tested, but you returned. And that's what grace looks like. Not perfection, but presence. His presence, your presence, together. You remembered that you were more than your performance, that you are not what you produce, that your worth is rooted in identity, not activity. You invited Christ not just into your prayer, but into your work, your burdens, your distractions, your relationships. And somehow, in all of that, the sacred emerged in the ordinary. You saw that the quiet cross you carry matters, that your mission isn't distant, it's embedded in your day. You remembered to armor yourself, to surrender instead of strive, to be sent, not scattered. You protected the flame. You prayed while moving. You returned again and again and again. And that is the secret. He is always ready to receive you. The world tells you to prove. Christ simply says, "Come." And now, as the night draws near, he says it again. The world needs you, but only after you've been with him. Now go, and do not come back to the old life. You are not alone anymore. You are held, you are sent, you are loved. God bless you.